So today's event is the 4th LME Breakfast Seminar by S&P Global Commodity Insights, where our pricing experts and metals and mining research analysts come together to talk to our delegates about base metals and battery metals, and also steel and aluminum. So people at this event are looking to get more market intelligence to help with their business. They want to know what's happening in the markets today, but also what the future of the metals market's looking like, what's happening in the world of sustainability, how is energy transition playing out, how are people decarbonizing, particularly in steel and aluminum. Also, how are trade protectionism measures, tariffs, regulation, how are all these things impacting the different metal markets? And basically, people want to know which metals are winners and which ones are potentially losers, and how to be prepared for their own business, really. So it's information sharing and what we are hearing in the market as well, and what is our intelligence on across metals markets, whether it's aluminum, copper, nickel, zinc, steel, iron ore. You're going to hear a little bit about all these markets, lithium, key battery metal. You're going to hear about all these markets. So LME week started yesterday. So it started with the LME seminar. It was a big seminar. And then there are lots of events like our event today, and lots of other events, late night dinners and cocktails and networking. So it's a whole week where the world's metals industry gets together in London every year and discusses, what's happening in the metals market. Now, yesterday at the LME seminar, people were expecting, there were over 1,000 people, and I think around 58% were expecting that copper has the most upside potential. So that one. And one of the reasons there is because there have been accidents at certain mines, and there's been concerns about copper supply, right? So that's why people are expecting this for copper. The LME itself announced, that they'll be launching carbon intensities for green premiums for 4 of their 6 base metals. So that was a big announcement by them. They're also setting up a price administrator in Dubai. So people were talking about that. People were obviously, everyone wanted to know what the macroeconomic outlook looks like. There was a presentation yesterday where there was talk about economic slowdown, and yet there is still demand for metals, right? And the traditional sort of users of metals, or if you look at just copper, the traditional user from the property, infrastructure, manufacturing, those still remain, while there are new areas of usage, whether it's data centers, whether it's EVs. So those are still, whether they're slowing down, they still exist. So there is demand, and people are not fully optimistic, I would say, not cautiously, somewhere in the middle of that. And also the number of events that showed up in my calendar, and I've been going to LME week for many years now, just tells me that there are more events this year. So it does tell me that the industry is doing fairly well, I would say, for the number of events that are taking place. Like even right now, I think there are 4 or 5 simultaneous events going on. So it is a busy week, but it's a great week to be meeting, with our contacts, with market participants, hearing what's top of their mind, what's driving their business, how are they preparing for things like CBAM, the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, which is coming into force next year, which is expected to impact steel and aluminum markets the most, to prevent carbon leakage into the EU. There are so many things we're talking about, but sustainability remains top of mind, and that was the topic for our breakfast briefing today. How do we see a sustainable future? How do we forge the future of metals? And looking forward to the next 3 days as well. It's just day 2, like I said. I think by Friday we'll get a better sense of all that's going on this week. And thank you very much.